This episode is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy. Just drop in some details about yourself and see if you're eligible to save money when you bundle your home and auto policies. The process only takes minutes, and it could mean hundreds more in your pocket. Visit Progressive.com after this episode to see if you could save. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary. Not available in all states.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Man, what is up, and welcome to the latest edition of the Bruin Bible. Will Decker, your host. We got a very special guest in the house, former UCLA Bruins offensive lineman, former NFL player for your Los Angeles Chargers out here in the Houston Texans. My main man, Scott Quessenberry, was nice enough to come in here and talk about everything going on in UCLA football world. We got a coaching change on the horizon coming up here, maybe a stadium change coming up here at that. No one better to break it down than my man, Scott. Scott, first and foremost, how are you doing, man? We're so thrilled and honored to have you on the show.
Good, man. Just kind of going through the steps, facing down the barrel of retirement, and just kind of figuring out what's next. But excited, kind of diving into this media stuff has been cool, and kind of creating relationships that weren't there before. It's been awesome for sure.
Dude, just talking off air, I know you're going to crush it in the media space, and we're honored to get in early on our guy, Scott Quessenberry, in the media space. So this will be a blast, dude. But I think a fair place to start, because you are in a unique position where you played in the Rose Bowl as a Bruin back in the day, class of 2013. You go in there, you eventually get drafted in 2018 in the NFL. But you played at the Rose Bowl, and then you played 2 seasons at SoFi. I mean, what does this move mean to you as somebody that's played in both of these stadiums? And do you think this is a good move overall? Because I think for me personally, and a huge chunk of the fan base, Scott, I don't think it's a good move. I'm a big fan of traditions when it comes to college sports. And I think Ditty, the mecca of college football, is a huge whiff for UCLA.
Yeah, I think leaving, I don't necessarily agree with it, but I see kind of both sides of the coin. I can see it being an advantageous move for a couple reasons. First, I'll start with the Rose Bowl. It's today my favorite stadium I've ever played in. When the atmosphere is good, it's great, and I went through a really good time. 13, 14, and 15 specifically were awesome. I think we averaged 75. We played a couple where there were over 85. So I love that stadium to death. But conversely, with SoFi, it's new, it's exciting. Rams and Chargers games are so expensive to go to. So I think you could just bring get people into the doors just strictly off of the lore of the stadium, I think. And then, if the team feeds off that, that's another thing. And if they start winning, people will show up. As you know, like LA sports, it doesn't matter what level, it's kind of fair weather fans, and they show up when things are good and they don't when things are bad. SC runs into the same problem. Angels, the Dodgers haven't been bad for a while, but the Dodgers run into it. Lakers, Clippers, Kings, everybody. Every single sports team goes through it. So I can see it kind of at both ends of the coin, which probably isn't what a lot of people expected me to say, but I definitely think ultimately it's probably a mistake for sure.
Yeah, I just feel like it takes away just the authenticity of college football.
Definitely.
Clemson, Howard's Rock, or, Michigan slapping the banner, or playing the horseshoe, or Outson. These type of places, man, like the Rose Bowl means something. I think it's just a shame that they're
for sure. On. Like teams scratch and claw to play in that stadium every year. Like now it's a little bit different, obviously, with just where the nature of college football is. Like that was Big Ten, Pac-12 for forever. And it's like, now it's just going to sit there for one game a year. And I think it's crazy. It's sad. It does happen. But again, I think there could be advantages to it, but ultimately I disagree for sure.
Yeah, I think the one caveat UCLA fans are kind of holding on to hope, if this is something real, is maybe an on-campus stadium at that.
Yeah.
Where Drake Stadium right there, the track and field arena. Maybe they can convert that with some more bleachers. They can revamp it, maybe move some parking over there, or maybe there's some other buildings around that. We've talked previously about an old VA building near campus. They were thinking of maybe innovating and doing stuff with that. Do you think if they were to get a stadium on campus, that'd be a huge home run? Because I think having the students be so close to the field is such an advantage of getting kids out to go to games, where the Rose Bowl is 26 miles from campus. Like, I live on the west side of LA, dude. It's tough to get out there. We make the move because we care about UCLA football, but man, it's tough. It's not easy.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, if you put it on Drake, right, I think from the furthest dorm room away, it's a 5-minute walk at max. So it's like you can kind of just show up at last minute, be like, oh, you want to go to the game? Let's go to the game. And I think that is huge. And if you sell out, I mean, I don't know what the attendance has been over the last couple of years, but if you get even like a 35,000, not even a full capacity stadium, it still feels like it. You know what I mean? Like, it kind of like it. You walk in and you're like, there's a rumble, and like that gets you excited. That gets players excited. It like energizes them to play at their best. And my only thing with that is I don't know what they would do at track and field. Yeah. So I actually mentioned on Twitter today, I was like, with what people are doing with stadiums nowadays, it feels like they can do anything. So it feels like they'd have to have some sort of like because like Eastern Michigan has a track, and I think it looks terrible. And one other D1 school has a track, and it's crazy because then you pull the atmosphere away, right? So like, because then you have 10 lanes of track and field before you get to the field. Where like if you go to some of these schools like Folsom or Arizona State, people are freaking breathing on you, man. Like you can like feel that, and like playing in a place like that is fun. So I was like, I think it'd be cool if they could somehow do like retractable stands for over the track. I think that'd be awesome. If they could figure that out, I think absolutely home run. But that would be the hard thing, because like then you talk about relocating track and field, and it's like, well, where the heck do we put them? And there's nowhere for that. If there's nowhere for football to go, there's nowhere for track and field to go if we take over their stadium. So I don't know, but yes, absolutely. I think that would be a home run. And like you said, just the pageantry of college football. I think UCLA should have a big crowd, and whatever they got to do to get a big crowd is important. But would hate to see it be away from the Rose Bowl unless it's on stadium. But SoFi is pretty tough to beat too. But I think, it would bum me out, but I could see where the thought process of the move is for sure.
It is technically closer. I think it's 12 miles compared to 26 miles. It is on that scary ass 405 that's like always filled with traffic. So we got to see how that, kind of filters out when going to games. But as a player that's been in those locker rooms and have seen the amenities, I know SoFi is state-of-the-art, incredible space to play. What are some of those amenities you think would appeal to players like coming in there that want to be recruited by UCLA?
Yeah, I mean, it's really cool. They'd probably build them a brand new locker room or use some space for a brand new locker room. And shoot, like, I don't even know, like you could replicate a Rose Bowl locker room. It's so hard to do. It's the Rose Bowl locker room. You walk in with the wood. It's so freaking cool. And it's like, you like feel it when you're in there. SoFi's locker room is kind of just like a new state-of-the-art locker room. It's just like you've seen them all over, social medias and stuff like that. And it's like, that's just kind of, it is what it is. And so I don't know what they would do, and I don't know what the draw for the like new school would be. I guess some people like it. I remember the first time I stepped foot in the Rose Bowl locker room, I was like, whoa, like this is freaking badass. So yeah, I don't know. I think they'd have to figure something out for sure, because I know that's a big one in college football is the appeal of the amenities, because In the NFL, it's like, I don't, whatever. It's like they're signing the checks now, and it's like, I'll play wherever they tell me to play. Like if you have hooks on the wall, that's my locker. That's my locker. It's like what we got to do. So they'd have to figure something out for sure.
Yeah, man. And I think this pivots to my second question I got for you, man. It's Jim Mora is kind of a name that's floating around here, especially with the current landscape of college football going on right now. How many coaching hirings are going on this offseason? Mora, I mean, it didn't end great in Bruins fans' minds, but you look at what he was able to do when you were on campus there, the 2012, 13, 14 teams that he put together in UCLA. You talked about the 76,000 fans in the crowd. Like, UCLA football felt like a brand again with Jim Mora. It was probably the last time it truly felt like a brand when he was at the helm. You see what he's done with UConn. He's really rebuilt that program up, and they've got fans in the stands now. And UConn, Storrs, Connecticut is a football town right now, as crazy as that sounds. What made Mora a great coach, and why did you want to commit to him as an 18-year-old high school kid?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, God, I can't say enough good things about that guy. He just kind of like leans into every player, wants to know about you. You're not just another chip on the board. Doesn't matter if you're like a 5-star recruit or, preferred walk-on, or just even like a walk-on that showed up one day on campus. Like, he knows everything about somebody on a personal level, which I think is very cool because, like he was a walk-on, right? So he walked on at UW, and he, I don't know if he knew what it felt like, but like he just like poured himself into the players, like on every level. And nobody was exempt from, getting chewed out. Nobody was held above anybody else. Like, and he kind of just leaned into the university and what the university stands for. And like you said, you see it at UConn. They just had their highest capacity crowd of all time. And it doesn't surprise me. And the success doesn't surprise me either. Cause he is a phenomenal football coach, phenomenal human, and just kind of really just knows what to do when you're building a culture, going and finding recruits. He knows how to play the game with the boosters and get the money and everything. He's just like a complete package of a coach. It's like you don't find those guys anymore. So like I said, it's not surprising to me that he's having success on the field, off the field, and everything that he's done. So
yeah, dude, he's a special coach. And
yeah.
I think UCLA should really consider going after him. What was the recruiting process like with him, trying to get you to come to UCLA? And I'll kind of segue this into a 2-part question as well. Did you overlap with Jedd Fisch when he was at UCLA as well? That's a hot name on the coaching board for a lot of UCLA fans, despite that loss to Wisconsin this past weekend.
Yeah, I did. He was my offensive coordinator my senior year. Also don't have very many bad things, if any, to say about him too. But recruiting process with Jim was really smooth the whole time. I actually silently committed to Cal. I really liked the O-line coach, Jim Mahalchek, and then Tedford. I really liked Tedford as well. And at the time, Cal had played in like 24 consecutive bowl games, and I was like, dang, this is crazy. Like, really liked it. And then Adrian Clem and Coach Moore came after me pretty hard. And nothing, like, they didn't really guarantee me anything ever, just like a chance to compete. And I was like, I really like that. I don't know, like, Cal had compared me to Brian Schwenke, who played in the NFL, and he's from San Diego. And so there was like that parallel. And then I was like, dubbed as the next Brian Schwenke, and I was like, I don't know if this is how I really want to do it. I kind of just want to go in there and make a name for myself.
Yeah.
And I felt like UCLA was really the only place that was going to be the case. It also helped that I knew I was going to play offensive line there. A lot of schools had me pegged as a D lineman. So I knew that just going to UCLA, I knew I was going to get the chance to compete. We brought in like 7 O-line recruits, and nothing was guaranteed. Jake Brendel was there. He was like a redshirt freshman the year I got there. And I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to play, but I'm going to go and give it my best. And that's what I did. And I ended up getting rewarded for it. And it all worked out. So I thank him all the time still for believing in me. And I tell him all the time, like, it's easy to go to bat for people who believed in me. And he did. He always did. And yeah, I would love the reunion. I know it's probably a long shot, and I know it's probably not going to happen. But nothing would make me happier than to see CJM don the blue and gold again, for sure.
That'd be sweet, man. And the more I think about the prospect of him coming back, the more I like it. You know what I mean? Because Wisconsin kind of pulled out of the coaching hiring process because it's such a crowded year. And I think a return to UCLA and just how it ended with him, I think he would welcome it back if we kind of rolled out the red carpet for him and just kind of get him back into Westwood and let him cook again. He's proven to win here. So, like, you have that in your back pocket. So if you miss out on a guy like Fish, and, I thought, at least for my personal opinion, if Skipper had gotten us to a bowl game, I think we could have reevaluated him as the head coach there.
Yep.
But I just think the way the season has kind of progressed after that 3-game winning streak, I think it's less likely that he will be named that. So when you kind of knock off those two guys, Mora's sitting right there, and he's familiar with Westwood and has recruiting ties all in Southern California. There's a lot of good things going on there, man. So I like that a lot. Draft day, man, 2018. Where did you do it at? Who are you watching with? And what was that experience like? Because very few football players can say, hey, man, I was an NFL draft pick. Like, my name got called, and I'm going to the league. Talk to me all about that, Scott, because that's a dream come true for everybody.
Yeah, it was crazy. I told my parents I didn't want to do anything. And then, my parents fashion, they invited like our entire family over on day 2. And I was like, I'm not like going on day 2. And then as picks started coming off the board, I was like, maybe I could go on day 2. I don't know. And then day 2 ended, and then sure enough, everybody showed up again for day 3. And I was like under the impression that like usually like 5 centers get picked in a draft. And I remember Brian Allen getting picked by the Rams in the 4th round, like 12 picks before me or 15 picks before me. And I'm like, well, I'm not getting drafted. So I just like got upstairs, and I went upstairs, and I was like, friggin' worst day ever. So pissed off. And I remember it was actually really funny because my brother in 2013 did the exact same thing. We just kept watching it, and names just kept flying off the board, and like it gets like awkward, the air like leaves the room, and you're like, this sucks, dude. Like friggin' all these people are here for me for something that's supposed to be super special, and it's turned into just like a shit show. And you're like, this is brutal. Like, you're just like worst thing ever. So I'm upstairs, and then I'm laying on my bed in my parents' house upstairs, just like looking at the ceiling. My dad's like, hey, let's just go watch in our bedroom. I'm like, all right. So we go in his bedroom, and I'm sitting there, and I sit there for like 45 seconds, and I get a call and my phone was face down. I'll never forget it. Buffalo was on the clock. And then like I flipped my phone over, and I looked, and it said pick is in. And I was like, okay, what's happening? And then it was a LA number, and I was like, what is going on? So I didn't know if the Rams were coming back up or if it was the Chargers, because the Chargers were totally off my radar. They had just signed Mike Pouncey the year before. They had drafted Dan Feeney in the 3rd round and Forrest Lamp in the 2nd round. So I was like, no chance. And then I remember, Tom Telesco being on the phone, and I'm like, oh my God, this is like the craziest thing ever. Because I don't know. I was a season ticket holder growing up, being from San Diego. Yeah, season ticket holder growing up. And I remember going back downstairs, and I'm on the phone, and a bunch of my buddies are there. And I mentioned Coach Lynn's name, and they all just like flipped out because they knew right away that it was the Chargers. And then hung up the phone, and we went crazy. And then I don't really remember anything after that. It's all kind of a blur until I got to rookie minicamp and just started playing ball. It was freaking crazy. Draft day, for better or for worse, is one of the craziest experiences any player can ever go through, for sure.
Yeah, dude. And like, you went to La Costa County High School out in San Diego, right? So you told me like you have season tickets as a kid as a Chargers fan. Like, that's the dream. It's one thing to get drafted, but by your childhood team at that, I mean, Scott, that's freaking cool, man. That's
It
amazing.
was really, really cool. It was so like special. First day being in the facility, walking through the halls and seeing like all the guys that I grew up watching and guys that I missed, but my dad grew up watching because my dad is from San Diego too. They're from Pacific Beach, my mom and my dad. So it was like, I've known about all of these guys like my whole life. These are like the football players I grew up hearing about, and like seeing them like enshrined was like, what is going on? It was like, there were so many times in my rookie year where I had to like bring myself back to like stop being a fan. Like, remember, I'm on the team. We were playing in Pittsburgh. We were playing in Pittsburgh on Thursday night or Sunday night. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And we scored and we were going for two. And Mike Pouncey dislocated his index finger. And I'm like on the sidelines, like going crazy like a fan. And they're all looking for me. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, I am going in the game right now. Mike ended up being fine. It was full slide protection to the right, fade to Mike Williams, got it, got on the bus, got on the plane, went home. So I was like, that was like my first moment of like, dude, you got to relax. Like, we're in the middle of an eight game winning streak. And I'm like, I'm a play away, like really a play away. And that like I was like, whoa. Cause like that season at the same time, we only had one combination of O-linemen. We had the same 5 starters the whole year. So I was like, woo, man, it was the emotions that season were crazy. Just like realizing playing in the NFL for my childhood team, where it was insane.
Bro, that's the dream. And I got to imagine, like, you grew up following this team. Phil Rivers was the face of that franchise for like 15, 16 years.
Yep.
I mean, that's probably one of your heroes, if I'm guessing, as a kid. And you're slapping the football to him. What was that like playing with Phil Rivers, man?
Yeah, I mean,
a legend.
Like you said, definitely idolized Phil growing up. Like, you know, it was surreal getting to play with him. I think the coolest thing about Phil and my bond was like talking about old Charger teams, like talking about plays that we specifically remember. Obviously his on like a whole nother level than mine, but like specific plays and specific games, you know, the Monday Night Football game with Antonio Cromartie, you know, and they beat the brakes off of Peyton and the Colts in Qualcomm.
Remember that one.
And like just going through like names, like obscure names of players. And like I actually have a buddy that played with my brother at San Jose State who's on the practice squad for the Chargers a while. And I brought his name up once and Phil's like, oh yeah, dude, he came to my house for Thanksgiving one year. Cause he was like, any of the guys in town that didn't have somewhere to go for Thanksgiving, I'd bring them to my house. And I was like, dude, this is it. It was so like, I think that's something that's really special about Phil and I's bond is that we just like, it like almost felt like we were teammates for a way longer than we were. Obviously we were only teammates for 2 seasons, but just like knowing the history and being there for Phil's first start, you know, I was like, dude, like this is crazy. Him and Gates, because Gates was there too.
Holy
so both of those guys, it was like, and then, you know, kind of being able to carve my own path and meet my own teammates from my draft class and guys that were there. Like, yeah, it was really special. I actually keep up with Phil's high school team in Fairhope, Alabama. They're kicking ass. His son's a freaking little gunslinger. It's fun to watch. And then just great dude, somebody everybody would want to be teammates with and everybody would want to be around. He's just like one of the guys, like he's not this like larger than life NFL quarterback. He's just like hanging out with guys, playing cards and, you know, just doing all the things that football players do. Obviously he put in a ton of time as well. The guy was the most cerebral football player I've ever been around. But yeah, another one of those just special guys that I'm lucky to have football brought me to for sure.
Dude, that's insane. Did you like, you got to break this down for me. I hear he does not swear. Is that true? Did you ever hear him swear?
Never, not once. It's really incredible. I like told my wife after him and Hunter Henry, the tight end is playing in New England.
I didn't know he didn't swear either. Yeah,
Hunter doesn't swear either. And I think part of that is from Phil. I'm not 100% sure. But they stop. So I'd like come home and like be like, hey, Nicolette, my wife, I'd be like, hey, like, let's try to stop swearing. And it's just, I don't know. It's especially with like in the locker room, you know, obviously just like locker room talk and like how coaches coach, like they let bad words fly left and right. It's just like kind of the nature of the beast. But it's really impressive. Like, especially without like how heated I've seen him on sidelines. It's like,
he's
dude,
fired up, dude. Yeah.
I'm like, dude, that is like unbelievable how you can like maintain your composure and not just let like the F word fly 40 times. It's like, shoot, golly, doggone it. Oh man, it's incredible. It really is.
His mic'd up stuff is like the stuff of legends. I just always would tune into those. I thought it was hilarious. But Phil Rivers, stone cold legend. That's so cool you got to play with him. Dude, who is the hardest guy to block in the NFL? I always kind of geek out of this on a football standpoint. Who is the guy you're like, I can't believe I'm lined up against this guy. This is going to give me hell all day long.
So I only played against AD in practice, Aaron Donald. He's a freak.
Yeah.
But
scary guy, dude.
Yeah. Nice. Such a nice dude too. Like weirdly nice. Like that type of nice where it's like, and then he knows he's gonna beat your ass. And you're like, well, that sucks. But for me, Dexter Lawrence is a freaking dog, man. He gave me fits. He good player, speed, power. He's so long. And like you watch him like in his 3-point stance and you're like, there's no way this guy can move. Like there's no way he can get out of the stance and have the ability to do what he does. And like, then you play against him and you're like, what the heck, dude? This is insane. He is, tremendous player. Very, 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 very good competitor. So definitely at the top of my list. Other guys played against Vita in college. Very good. Javon Hargrave, very good as well. Chris Jones, although he primarily is the 3 tech in Kansas City, so it's kind of just a lot of sliding to him. Those are the guys that really stand out in your like lunch bucket type of game. But the Chargers got one now that when I was in Houston, he was in Tennessee. We had some battles. T.R. Tart, he plays really good.
Oh, yeah.
Super underrated player. I don't know how well versed you are with the Chargers, but he's having a huge freaking year for them. So those are really the guys that stick out. But Dexter Lawrence, kind of, I think most guys you'll hear, I think at the center position specifically, I think a lot of the guys I think he'll be at the top of most guys' list if they played against him.
Yeah, dude. So Chargers are kind of like my AFC team. So I really love them. I grew up a 49ers fan, so I got to stay strong with that. But I love Jim Harbaugh. My grandpa went to Michigan, so I've kind of like tacked on to him. You know, Herbert seems like a great dude from everything I've heard.
Awesome.
You know? Yeah. Did you play with him?
Yeah. 2 years. Yeah.
What's he like, man?
Another just awesome guy. He's a lot like Phil. He kind of just wants to be one of the guys, play ping pong in the locker room, also puts in a ton of time. But like every free second he has, it's like ping pong or mini hoop or competing in some way, you know, like it's like you can't take that out of those guys. Like all they want to do is just compete all the freaking time. Like whether it's the most minutes on their iPad watching film, and it's like anything that they can do to holding their breath in the cold tub. It's like, dude, like it's crazy, uncanny, the resemblance of the two. Obviously, Phil, Southern version, Justin, you know, Pacific Northwest version. But like just so uncanny, the resemblance between the two of them. It's crazy. And Justin, you know, he's also a really good buddy of mine. And we actually met when he was a true freshman at Pac-12 Media Days.
Oh, no way.
He was there for Oregon, and I was there my senior year for UCLA. So met there, kind of just had distant contact. But when he showed up in the locker room, it was like, what's up? Like, oh, what's up? Like, we're teammates now. So, Great dude, man. Great player. God bless. He's such a good player.
Dude, his arm talent, like it's something like it's in the 1%. I like to say of quarterbacks.
For sure. Might even be higher than that. He's freaking doesn't even care either. He lets that thing rip, man. He goes out there and calculated, but he lets that thing rip for sure.
He's probably had like 2 or 3 of the 10 best throws I've ever seen. The one that comes to mind, I think, was like 2022, 2023. He gets hit and his feet are kind of going back, and he hits just a 50-yard touchdown against the New York Giants, like in stride.
No,
and
I think
like, there's like 2 guys in the world that can make that throw, and he's one of them. It's insane.
I think that was, I don't know if we're thinking of the same one, but he had one against the Giants at SoFi in 2020.
That might be the one I'm talking about. Yeah.
And I was at home watching. I had COVID. So he rolled out to his right and threw it all the way back across the field to Mike Williams. And I was like, or Jalen Guyton. I think it might have been Jalen Guyton.
Yeah, I think it was Guyton. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Jalen Guyton. Yeah. And he threw it all the way back across the field and it was just like in a bucket. And I was like, dude, this kid is freaking unbelievable, man. It was like, what the heck? And he's just gotten better and better and better. It's like, God, and he wants it more and more and more. Like I said, just the competitive edge that he has is unfreaking believable.
Dude, well, Scott, I got to get you out of here with this last question. You've been so awesome coming on, bro. We love having you on. We love our former Bruins here. Thank you for all your opinions on topics, especially with how, the program's just having a lot of changes this year. So I think we need to be loud and proud with the UCLA fan base. Last question I got for you. What was your favorite memory of being a UCLA Bruin and playing in the blue and gold?
I don't know. That's a really good question. A couple games stand out. Freshman year, Arizona, the Miles Jack game.
Oh, yeah.
That
you guys
one.
were the same recruiting class, right?
Yeah, that one. The next week at Washington when he played running back, only played running back that week, that one as well. Washington at home in 14 when we wore the All Blacks and beat the just shit out of them. It was always this weird contrast with Washington because obviously it was Jim's alma mater.
Yeah.
And they always had really good recruiting classes. And it was like, dude, they got freaking players. And they always were like, oh, they're so much tougher than you guys. And they're going to go in there and beat you guys. Freaking, it's going to be easy for them. And we kicked the shit out of them.
Hell yeah.
Except for my junior year, we just beat the freaking crap. And senior year, they got us too. But my first 2 years there, it was just belts to butts, man. Those ones were fun. I love playing at Arizona State. That one at Arizona State where we had 4 touchdowns over 80 yards. That one was crazy.
Yeah.
There's so many. We were, I think we underachieved a little bit as a football team, but with just kind of the talent that we had. So many good memories though, man. I friggin' Bruins till the day I'm dead, for sure. So
we love it, bro. Well, thank you so much again for coming on, man. You've been so generous with your time, and let's get the Bruins. All we want is for the Bruins to maximize their potential. We want to
absolutely.
We want to make sure that the stands get filled. We get recruiting classes coming. I don't care who the next coach is or how it. Just make sure it's the best possible candidate that crushes it out the park. And I know Scott feels the same way. So, Scott, buddy.
It could be somebody that we don't even have on the radar, and they could knock a hire out of the park, and you could be like, no one saw that coming, and it could just totally work out. So you never know.
Yeah, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Scott Quessenberry in the house. Bruin Bible, we are officially out. Smash that like and subscribe button. We're going to the top.
Hey, what's up, Bruin family? And thank you, as always, for making the Bruin Bible a part of your daily listen. Got to tell you quickly about our friends over at Sleeper. It's the #1 sports app on the App Store or Google Play. And when you go to download the app today and you go to make your first deposit, make sure to use our promo code UCLA LAFB. All one word, UCLA LAFB. They're going to match your deposit up to $100. You put in $100, you get $100 free to play with. And when you get that money in there, go do the daily fantasy. You're just going to choose 2 to 8 players across any sport and just choose more or less. So if you're looking at UCLA, Nico Iamaleava, are you choosing more or less passing yards? You can go pros with the Rams, with the Chargers, choose more or less for touchdowns, receptions. You go with baseball, NBA, NHL, anything you want is right there on the Sleeper app. Plus, right now, they're giving new users a $20 free entry, no deposit required. So you can get $20 free immediately for signing up and then stack that offer with our UCLA LAFB promo code and get that match bonus. So head to Sleeper, download it, tell them the guys at the LAFB network sent you.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.